Hi, I am back with a special video that's been requested pretty often. It's the Keynote app. I wanted to give you a rundown of how to use this app, whether it's for work, designing, personal things, or if you're using it for digital planning, whatever you want to use it for. I'm just going to give you a basic rundown of the app. So this application is for Apple products such as the iPad, the MacBooks, the PC. I'm not really sure if it's available on phones. I've never tried to use it. But it is a free app that's offered from the App Store. It's this little icon down here on the bottom that's highlighted right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you some basic things to know about it to kind of get you started, because when you step into a new app, it's really difficult to understand what everything's used for, even though you see what people do in it. So I'm going to help you with that. So first we're going to boot up the app. When you first open it, it'll look something like this, minus my little IDesign file there. Up in the right hand corner, you will see a plus sign that you can click on, and it will show you a bunch of pre-made templates that you can use for certain things like presentations. If you wanted to do any kind of project, really, it already has some things set up for you with backgrounds and fonts and pictures and images and things like that. But what we're going to do for the purposes of this video is we're just going to open up a blank one, which is where you see white. Now, this is what you will be working on when you're using Keynote. So first, I want to get rid of the font that I see on there. So I'm just going to take my finger, hold down the double tap sign, and then hold down the second one, and then I'm just going to delete them. There's other ways to do it. You can just hard press, select all, delete. It's up to you how you want to do that. So we're going to kind of go around the board, starting with the left. So this upper sign where you see presentations, if you click on that, it'll take you back to this selection screen. If you click on the little box beside of it, this will give you ways that you can kind of show everything off like that. And then you have your presenter notes where you can write things to go with your presentation. Sorry, that's my PC going off. And then if you see the little arrow that looks like it's going backwards, that is because I just drew on this with my Apple Pencil. If I hit that arrow, it'll take it away. And the cool thing is you can actually hold down on it and you can either undo, delete, or redo the stroke. So you can go back and forth if you need to, if you accidentally click something. And then one of the reasons you keep seeing the blue bar pop up on top is because with a recent update to Keynote, they've actually made it to where if you use your pencil, it activates the screen for writing. So now you want to be able to select things. You'll have to use your finger, as far as I know. Let's continue going down on the left hand side. You'll see this thing right here that I am toggling. That is what is known as a slide. It will line up with a bunch of these going down the side so that you can set up things however you want. Whatever order they're in, that's the way that they will be displayed, unless you set it up through a key or a hyperlink or something like that, which I will try to get into that a little bit later. But if you notice, when I hold down on this slide, it comes up with cut, copy, select all, delete, skip slide, and transition. Now, most of them are pretty self-explanatory. If you click on the transition, this is kind of like one of those things. It's an animation to the page. So when you go to show it, it'll make it look like blinds are going away or confetti or cubes. There's actually a bunch of them. That's what the blinds look like. Let's turn that off just so we don't have any problems during the video. Now, if you want to add a slide, what you can do is there's down here on the bottom left-hand corner, there's a plus sign. If you click on that, there's a bunch of different ones that you can choose from. I am going to choose the plain white down here in the corner, and that just opens up another plain white screen. So now that we've covered the left side, let's navigate over to, and you can also click on this middle part right here and rename it. So let's say, there we go. So yeah, you can just rename it. That's if you're using it for a presentation for work or for school or whatever the purpose, that's a way to help you keep track of things. So moving on to the right side, you have the little, it looks like a play button. Well, that's exactly what it is. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration of how that would work. So go back to your first, and then you hit play. And it just goes through it so that you can see everything in full screen mode. Tapping on it makes it go back and forth. So that's just a general, let's get all this cleared off so that I don't forget to do that. And then you have your paintbrush. So you have your master slide that you can change, horizontal, center. There's actually a whole bunch that you would just kind of mess with this to decide what you wanted to do. And yes, someone else's images are in there, but you can simply click on that, go in, and you can insert your own images. You don't, it's pretty easy to do it. You just select, let's see here. So that's how you would do that. Now, you can also change the background, and what this will do is just change the white that you see on the outside. So say we wanted to make it gray, or you can do no fill, which would make it transparent, I'm sorry. Let's see how that would look in play mode. So as you could tell, there's no background at all. And I guess I'll left the slide effect on. I'm going to put the background back on. And then if you go down to, you could put a title on, a body, slide number down there at the bottom. So if you were making, say, a book or a bullet journal or something like that, you can go ahead and add the tabs in, or the slide number, just to keep track if you move things around, I would imagine. So I'm just going to clear this off again by clicking on the white, selecting all, and then deleting. Or maybe I'm not, there we go. All right, now if you click on the plus sign, this is where things get into more of the creative side. If you click over here where it looks like little grids, that's what they are. You can slide through, pick the kind of grid. I would say maybe grid isn't the right word. Let's go with tables. I think they are considered tables. And these tables are not what they seem. You might think, oh, well, you can just, write certain things. This can be modified completely. So if you click on the equal sign up here, you can add. And then if you click on the equal sign, whoops, activated the pencil again. And then if you click on this down here at the bottom, you can keep adding to it. So you can make this as big as you need. One of the neat things too that a lot of people don't know is there are a bunch of functions. If you're clicked on the table and you go back in to the paintbrush, there's a lot of things that you can change in here. You could turn off the table outline. You can do the grid options to change how you want the lines to show. So this is how you would see people make their own calendars or something like that. They could just edit it through this. You could change the table font. That way when you go to write in it, it's going to show up the particular font that you picked out. And then if you click cell, now what is a cell? A cell is these. Each of these little portions are considered a cell. The whole thing is considered a table. So you need to be careful when you're making edits. Make sure that you're either working on the table as a whole, or you can click on it and work as in a cell. Now, with the cell, the neat, I want to say, I keep using my pencil. Let's get rid of this doodle. Now this, you would click on the letter up here at the top, and that would help you navigate with just, to help you just select the cell and help you make changes with just the cell. Now you can go in, you can change the color of the particular cell, write different in it. There's a whole lot of things that you can do. You can go into format. You can change the format of your cell depending on what you're using it for. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I need to explain more with just this. And I'm pretty sure that wraps it up. You learn more as you're playing with it. Okay, and then the next thing, let's get rid of the table. The next thing that we can look at when we go back to the plus sign. So we went over tables. Now you can go into the grids, the bar graphs and things like that. These are obviously really self-explanatory. If you have any, if you're using these, you've probably used them before, so you understand how to set those up. Next, we'll go into the shapes. Now, the shapes are basic shapes, objects, and things like that. This is also where you'll find your text box to be able to, there I go with the pen again. I'm just going to move the pen. All right, so you got your text box. You can move it, put a background on it, and once again, as long as the text is selected, and you can tell it's selected with the 2 blue dots on the outside of it, you can go up to the paintbrush and you can customize the text and the styles. Now, another feature that we should probably discuss is flipping. So you could flip your text vertically, horizontally, you could do all of that. But you're probably wondering what lock means. Lock basically, as you can see, the blue dots turned gray. That means I can't accidentally click on this and move it because it's locked. Now, to unlock it, you can either click on it and come over here to the paintbrush and just unlock it, or you can click on it with your finger, press on it, I'm sorry, and then hit unlock, and then that makes it so that you can edit it again. As long as it's locked, you cannot edit at all. Now, let's go into the shapes. I just went to pick up my pencil again. The lines, do what you would do with a line. You can also use these to make your graphs, connect things to each other, things like that. The shapes is pretty interesting. So you can click on the shape, and like I said, you can tell it's selected because of the blue dots on the outside. Now, because it is editable, you can go up to editable. Wow, that doesn't sound right. You can go to the paintbrush and you can change the color of that box. And if you see fill right here, that's what you're filling it with. You could do the no fill to make it transparent depending on what you're doing. Or you can select a color, and they even have the little graph here for you. Now, if you are working and you're like, oh, I really like that color, well, select the color, hit the little brush, select, and now that color is saved down here in your palette for you. Let's see, what else can we do? You can add a border to that shape. There are many different ones to choose from. And you can even go in and change the, you could change the width of it, so you can make it nice and bulky. You can change the color that is surrounding it, the border color. And then you can also put shadows on it to make it look a little bit more realistic, depending on what you're using it for. That could be pretty useful. And then you have the reflection. Now this just makes it look like that shape is reflecting on the bottom. It works on some things, not on others. It just depends on what kind of shape you're using. And then you have the opacity, where you can change how dark it's showing up, or if you want something to show behind it. See? So now my text is showing up behind it. Now, if I want to put my text on my box, what I can do is I have my box selected and I go to Arrange. Now, the box is sitting in front of the text. Well, I want my text on top of my box so it's nice, crisp letters. So what you're going to do is you're going to slide the slider right here, and you're going to slide it all the way down. And what that just did was it moved the box to the back and the font to the front. And then you can turn on or off constrain proportions. Now what that does is if you have it turned on, you can change the size of this box however you want. Now if you have the constrain proportions turned on, what it does is it just grows from the inside. So there we go. See, it grows from the middle out, which in some cases that might be something that you want. I like being able to size mine the way I want. And once again, because we have the text in the box, let's group these up so that we don't accidentally move the image that we just created. So I would hold down on the box and select the text at the same time, let loose, and then you're going to see something that says group. Group those together, and now these are locked, they're not coming apart. If you need them to come apart, you want to change, you can simply come over here to the right side and hit ungroup, or you can select the image and hit ungroup from here. So now that that image is done, we'll just set it over here in case we need it again. We're going back into the shapes. I just want to give you an overview of things that you can use here. Bunch of images, you know, for if you were going grocery shopping, or you wanted to write any of that down and use little images as signifiers. They also have their symbols. And keep in mind, this was designed for presentations, but people like me use it for designing stickers and stuff like that for planners. That's a whole nother video, but to give you an idea is you would put the planner, well, I don't use planners that come from Keynote. The planner that I use is professionally designed. It's IPlanner. So I don't really know much about making the planners and the Keynote, but I know that's what people use it for. I use it to make stickers, and I can show you a little, how I do that later, just to give you an idea of what this app is really capable of, and in reference to, stickers. And I mean, you're already seeing what you can do with presentations. If you are doing a presentation or looking at this video for that, you get a general idea of what you can do already. Okay, so we're done with the shapes pretty much. I mean, there's just a lot that you can go through and use. Now let's go to the fourth icon that looks like little pictures right here. And what this is this is your camera roll. So this can be used for a background. It can be used for squares. I'm going to actually show you how to mask things. So I'm going to go in here. Let's grab the car. Just go back to pictures. And then I'm going to select, let's see, let's select the purple. Now, as you can tell, this image is completely covering up my car because I want to mask this image with a different color that I already have. So If I wanted to put emblems on it or something like that, I could. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this picture that I got from my camera roll. I'm going to put it over the car, okay? And then I'm going to click on, or just press on the white, select all, mask with shape, and hit done. Boom. Now I have a glittery car. So that's just an idea of how you can change the look of your, your whatever you're putting in here, whether it's a box or a sticker, or maybe you're making a book cover for something, or you just want to change the look of an image to kind of jazz it up a little bit. That's all I did, is I created a mask. Now, if I wanted to change some things with this mask and just say I just wanted to do the tire or the front of the car, I'm sorry, I could. Now, trying to get an idea of what else I need to show you guys. I have it all wrote down on sticky notes. It's my new way of being organized. Okay, I'm going to show you some hyperlinking. Let's say, okay, I already showed you the stickers. Yeah, so, you can just import photos or anything like that. And you can also insert from places like wherever you would save to, like your Dropbox, your cloud, or anything like that. Before I show you the hyperlinking, I'm going to go ahead and click on these 3 dots up here at the top and just go over some of the general ideas of some of this. So you got collaborate with others, which means you can share your presentation with other people. You have Keynote Live, which is where you can project it onto your iPad, a projector, a TV, whatever you can use to project your images. Then you can also share by emailing it, text it, or posting it on maybe your company's website, I'm not sure. And then you have your export, which everyone knows what that is, and then you got your printing, where you can actually print the things that you created. And then you got the slide view, a light table view, which is that, which is basically you don't see everything on the side, you see it as this. There we go, going back to slide view. And then you got show presentation, presenter notes, sorry. Transitions and build, that's how you would make the screen flop. Then as you're looking through here and you get a pretty big presentation going, you can actually find certain parts throughout. And then you have your document set up, which is where you would go in and choose what format you want it to be in if you wanted to use a pre-made. But you can also go in now and you can change how you want it to be set up. So you could do a custom size, a perfect square, or the rectangle like I'm using, or you can even go in, and this is like a landscape mode, which is also the same as the 16 by 9. The other way is the landscape, which is if you turned your iPad in the correct orientation, it would show up, the long way like a book. So I basically just changed my whole presentation of that. And then you can also rehearse your slideshow, which is just practice how, set it up to how you want it to be when you're presenting it to somebody else. And then you have your soundtrack if you wanted to add music to it. Auto correction. One of the neat things too is you see here where it says edge glide, center glide, spacing guides. This is really, really nice because it helps you line things up perfect. So if I wanted, see how it's kind of guiding me to say, hey, this is exactly where it's supposed to be. Now, if I try to move it over here, it's saying, well, now it's locking in to let me know that is how it should be. Now, it even helps me with spacing. Oh, there we go. Now, say I want to create another image and I want it to be exactly spaced apart as far as those are. So see, it's setting up those arrows so that can be perfectly set up. That's if you turn all these edge guides and stuff like that on. You don't have to. It's what I use to make sure things are nice and straight. So, and if you have any general questions about Keynote, you can go into their help and things like that. So, let me get back. Now I just want to, there it goes into presentation mode again. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to link things. I'm not going to make a whole bunch, so I'm just going to show you the general idea. Now say I wanted this box to link to my car page. So what I would do is click on it. Gotta remember how I did this. It's been a long time. Let's see. Okay, so you have to ungroup it so that it's not going to try to link to, I guess. So you would just click on one area, click link, and then here is where you can link it to a slide. And I'd say I want to link this to slide 2. So anytime I click on that green box, it's going to take me back to view at the green cars. So now that the link is added, let's go into the view mode. There. So now that is linked, and you know it's linked because of the blue arrow that's up at the top. So I've given you general ideas of what you can do with Keynote. I may have missed some things. I sure hope I didn't. I gave you the basics, so if you're just diving in, you know how at least where everything is. And honestly, with this kind of app, to make it, it depends on what you want to use it for. Like I said, I use it for designing stickers. This is my IDesign. I actually bought this file from Digitally Speaking and I imported into Keynote, and then I can just sit here and make all of my own stickers. And I use these stickers for my work schedule, for planning and things like that. It's really useful, a bunch of pre-made shapes for me, and I just go in and I can design so many things with it. And that's the cool part about Keynotes, is that, you know, you can do all of this. And I wanted to kind of give you an idea. Let me find that sticker. So just a reference of how you would use something if you were doing it like I do in a planner is you would just select all. I group it. Whoops. I did not turn. All right, grouped it. I'm going to make it just to make sure the quality is nice and crisp, and it is. And then I'm going to go into my planner. Let's see here. And then now I can just hold press and insert my little flag that I created. And as you can tell, taking it out of Keynote into my planner, it's still nice and crisp, it's clear, and I can go and edit it, change the size and stuff. So that's what I do. Is this is my planner. I just make stickers for it, and you know, for functionality, things like that. But so if you want to know anything about, you know, the planner or the IDesign that goes within Keynote, I could put some links down below for you. But if you have any questions about anything that you've seen in this video, or if I left something out of the Keynote tutorial and you would like to ask more questions about it, just let me know and I will try to respond as quick as possible. So thanks for watching. Take care.